What would you do if you found a wallet on the ground, full of money, more money than you have ever seen in your life? No one around, no one watching. At least, that's what you think. Your child is hungry. Your rent is due. And this one moment could change everything. Would you take it? Or would you return it? This is the story of a single mother who made a choice. That shocked everyone. The rain started slowly that evening, like a warning. At first, people ignored it, but within minutes it became heavy, loud, and unstoppable. Maya stood at the entrance of the office building where she worked. She watched as people rushed out, opening their umbrellas, calling taxis, or jumping into their cars. Some laughed as they ran through the rain. Others complained loudly. Maya didn't move. She had no umbrella, no car, no one waiting to pick her up. She pulled her thin sweater closer to her body, even though it did little to keep her warm. Her hands were rough from cleaning all day. Her back ached. Her legs felt heavy. Still, she stepped into the rain. Water soaked her almost immediately. Her shoes, already worn out, began to fill with water. Each step made a soft squishing sound, but she didn't stop. She couldn't afford to stop. Her day had started before sunrise. She cleaned offices where people worked in comfort. She wiped desks that held expensive laptops. She emptied trash bins filled with things people didn't even think about. Sometimes, people spoke to her kindly. Most times, they didn't notice her at all. To them, she was just part of the building. Invisible. But outside that building, Maya had a life that depended on her. Her son, Daniel, 7 years old. Small, quiet, and understanding beyond his age. He never asked for too much. He never complained when food was little. He always smiled when Maya came home, even if she brought nothing. That thought made Maya's chest tighten. She reached into her bag as she walked. Her fingers touched the small amount of money she had left. She stopped under a weak streetlight and counted it again. Slowly, carefully, hoping maybe she made a mistake before. But she hadn't. It wasn't enough. Not for rent. Not for school. Not even for proper food. She closed her hand tightly around the money. Her eyes filled with tears, but she quickly wiped them away. Crying wouldn't change anything. Just one miracle, she whispered softly. The rain fell harder, as if swallowing her words. Maya lowered her head and kept walking. She didn't know it yet, but that miracle was already waiting for her. Maya walked slowly along the side of the road, her eyes fixed on the wet ground. Not because she was looking for anything, but because she was too tired to look up. The rain blurred her vision. Water ran down her face, mixing with the few tears she couldn't hold back. Then suddenly, something unusual caught her attention. She stopped. At first, she thought it was just trash, maybe a small bag or a piece of leather someone had dropped. But something about it felt different. She stepped closer. There, lying on the wet ground, was a black wallet. Clean. Thick. Expensive looking. It didn't belong in the dirt. Maya looked around quickly. People passed by, rushing through the rain. Cars moved fast, their lights reflecting on the wet road. No one seemed to notice the wallet. No one stopped. No one cared. Her heart began to beat faster. She bent down slowly and picked it up. It felt heavy in her hand. Too heavy. She swallowed hard. For a moment, she just held it. Then, slowly, she opened it, and everything inside made her freeze. Money. A lot of money. Not just a few notes. Bundles. Neatly arranged. More than she had seen in months. Maybe even years. Her hands started shaking. This is not normal, she whispered. She flipped through it carefully, afraid someone might suddenly appear and accuse her of stealing. Then she saw a card. White. Clean. With bold letters. She read the name silently. Alexander Reed. Her eyes widened. Even Maya knew that name. He wasn't just rich. He was powerful. A billionaire. A man people talked about on TV. A man who owned companies, buildings, maybe even half the city. Her heart pounded harder. She looked around again. Still no one. The rain continued to fall. And for the first time in a long time, Maya felt something dangerous. Hope. Maya stood there, frozen in the rain, holding the wallet tightly in her hands. The world around her seemed to slow down. The sound of the rain faded into the background. Even the cars passing by felt distant. All she could think about was the money. Her fingers pressed against the thick bundles inside the wallet. She had never held that much money before. It didn't feel real. This could change everything, she whispered under her breath. Her mind started racing. She imagined going home with food, real food, not just bread or leftovers, a full meal for Daniel, something warm, something good. She imagined paying her rent on time for once. No more warnings, no more fear of being thrown out. She imagined Daniel going to school without worry. New books, clean clothes, a chance to be like other children. For a moment, it all felt possible. Too possible. She tightened her grip on the wallet. "No one saw me," she said quietly. Her voice trembled. "No one will know." The thought stayed in her mind longer than it should have. She looked around again. Still nothing. No one searching. No one calling out. No one running back in panic. It was as if the wallet had been left just for her. A test. Or a gift. She didn't know which. Her heart beat faster. "Maybe this is the miracle," she whispered. But then, another voice entered her mind. Quiet, but strong. "It's not yours." Maya closed her eyes tightly. She didn't want to hear it. She didn't want to think about right or wrong. Not now. Not when she needed help so badly. "I deserve this," she said, almost angrily. "I've suffered enough." Tears mixed with the rain on her face. Her breathing became heavier. Her thoughts became louder. "Take it. Don't take it. You need it. It's wrong." She felt like she was being pulled in two different directions. Her body wanted one thing. Her heart wanted another. Minutes passed, but it felt like hours. Finally, Maya opened her eyes. Her face was calm now. But her decision, that would change everything. Across the street, parked quietly under a dim streetlight, a black car sat still. Inside the car, a man watched everything. He didn't move. He didn't speak. He simply observed. Alexander Reed, the owner of the wallet, the billionaire whose name was known across the city. But right now, he wasn't in a boardroom. He wasn't signing deals. He wasn't surrounded by powerful people. He was watching one woman, Maya. His eyes followed her every movement from the moment she picked up the wallet. He saw the surprise on her face, the confusion, the moment her hands began to shake. And then, the moment her eyes changed. He had seen that look before. Many times. In different people. Different places. That look of temptation. His driver, sitting in the front seat, finally spoke. "Sir, should we step in?" he asked quietly. Alexander shook his head. "No," he said calmly. "Not yet." His voice was controlled, but his eyes were sharp. Focused. Interested. "You see this," he continued. "This moment, this is where people show who they really are." The driver nodded slowly. But he didn't fully understand. To him, it was just a wallet. Just money. But to Alexander, it was something else. A test. For years, he had worked with powerful people. Smart people. educated people. But one thing always disappointed him. They were not honest. Some lied for profit. Some cheated for success. Some pretended to be loyal until money appeared. Alexander had built an empire, but he had lost trust in people. That's why sometimes he created moments like this. Small situations, simple choices, to see what people would do when no one was watching, or at least when they thought no one was watching. His eyes returned to Maya, standing in the rain, still holding the wallet, still fighting herself. "She's struggling," the driver said softly. Alexander nodded. "Yes," he replied. "And that's what makes it real." He leaned slightly forward, watching closely. "Anyone can act good when life is easy," he said. "But when someone has nothing, that's when the truth comes out." There was silence inside the car, only the sound of rain hitting the roof. Alexander's eyes didn't leave Maya. "Let's see who she really is," he said quietly. And outside, unaware of everything, Maya was about to make the most important decision of her life. Maya stood still in the rain. Her hands gripped the wallet tightly. Her heart beat so loudly, it felt like it could burst out of her chest. Everything around her faded away. The cars, the people, the noise. All that remained was the choice. She looked down at the wallet again. Her fingers slowly opened it. The money was still there. Clean. Dry inside. Perfect. It felt like it was calling her. "Take it." She imagined Daniel's face. Smiling. Eating. Happy. Her chest tightened. "I can't let him suffer like this," she whispered. Her hand moved slightly, as if she was about to take the money out. But then, she stopped. Her breathing slowed. Another thought came. Stronger this time. "What will you become if you do this?" Maya froze. She had lost many things in life. Money. Comfort. Support. But one thing she had tried to keep. Her dignity. Her honesty. Even when life was hard, she held on to it. Tears rolled down her face. "I don't want to become someone I'm not," she said softly. Her grip on the wallet loosened. She closed it firmly. "No." This time, her voice was stronger. "I will return it." Not because she didn't need the money, but because she refused to lose herself. She took a deep breath, wiped her face, and looked up. The big hotel stood ahead of her. Bright, tall, intimidating. A place she had never entered before. For a moment, doubt returned. "Will they even let me in?" she thought. But then she looked at the wallet again. "This is not about me," she said. "It's about doing what is right." And with that, she started walking, step by step, each step heavy, but certain. Behind her, across the street, inside the black car, Alexander Reed smiled. "Interesting," he whispered. The hotel stood like a different world. Bright lights, clean glass doors, security standing tall at the entrance. Maya slowed down as she approached. Her wet clothes clung to her body. Her shoes made soft, uncomfortable sounds with every step. She suddenly felt very small. People walked in and out of the hotel with confidence, dressed in expensive suits, elegant dresses. No one looked like her. For a moment, she almost turned back. Maybe I should just leave it at the door, she thought. But then she shook her head. No, she said quietly. She had come this far. She would finish it. As she reached the entrance, one of the security guards looked at her. His eyes moved from her wet hair, to her worn clothes, to her shoes. There was doubt in his expression. "Can I help you?" he asked. Maya swallowed nervously. "Yes, I found this outside," she said, holding up the wallet. The guard's eyes changed immediately. He stepped closer, took a quick look. Then his face became serious. "Wait here," he said. He spoke into his radio, his voice low and urgent. Within seconds, another staff member came. Then another. Everything started moving quickly. Maya stood there confused. "Did I do something wrong?" she asked softly. "No," the guard said quickly. "You did the right thing." They opened the doors for her. "Please come inside." Maya hesitated, then stepped in. The moment she entered, she felt it. Cold air, clean smell, silence. Everything inside looked perfect. The floor shined like a mirror. The lights were soft but bright. Maya looked down at herself. Water dripped from her clothes onto the perfect floor. She felt out of place, but she kept walking toward the front desk. And in that moment, she had no idea that the man who owned the wallet was already waiting for her. Maya stood quietly at the front desk, holding the wallet with both hands. The receptionist looked at her, then at the wallet. Her eyes widened slightly. She opened it just enough to confirm what she was seeing. Everything was inside. Nothing missing. The receptionist picked up the phone quickly and spoke in a low voice. "Sir, it's here." Maya didn't understand what was happening, but she could feel the tension in the air. Staff members began to move differently, more alert, more serious. Then, the room went quiet. A man walked in. Tall, calm, confident. His presence alone changed everything. Maya recognized him immediately. From TV. From newspapers. Alexander Reed. He walked slowly toward her, his eyes fixed on the wallet, then on her face. "You found this?" he asked. His voice was deep, controlled. Maya nodded. "Yes, sir." She held out the wallet with slightly shaking hands. Alexander took it, but his eyes never left her. Alexander opened the wallet slowly. He checked inside. Everything was there, exactly as he left it. He closed it gently and looked back at Maya. "You didn't take anything?" he asked. Maya shook her head. "No, sir." There was a short silence. Then something unexpected happened. Alexander smiled. Not a big smile, but one that carried meaning. "I know," he said. Maya frowned slightly. "What do you mean?" Alexander turned his head slightly and pointed toward a small camera in the corner of the lobby. "I've been watching you," he said calmly. Maya's eyes widened. "Watching me?" "Yes," he replied. "I dropped that wallet on purpose." The words hit her like a shock. "You tested me?" she asked softly. Alexander nodded. "Yes." There was no anger in his voice, only certainty. "And you passed." Maya stood still, trying to process everything. Her mind was racing, her heart still beating fast. "I almost didn't," she said quietly. Alexander raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" Tears filled Maya's eyes. "I needed that money," she said. "My son, he's hungry sometimes." Her voice broke slightly. "I thought about taking it." She looked down, ashamed. "For a moment, I really did." Alexander didn't interrupt. He just listened. "But I couldn't," she continued. "It didn't feel right." She wiped her tears quickly. "I've lost many things in my life, but I didn't want to lose myself too." The room was silent. Even the staff nearby stopped moving. Alexander studied her face carefully. Not judging, not doubting, just understanding. Then he nodded slowly. "That," he said quietly, "is exactly why you're different." Alexander took a small step closer. "I want to offer you a job," he said. Maya blinked in surprise. A job? He nodded. Yes, in my company. She looked confused. But I'm just a cleaner, she said. I don't have experience for big work. Alexander shook his head. I can teach skills, he said calmly. I can train people to do many things. He paused for a moment. But honesty, he continued. That is rare. Maya didn't know what to say. Her hands trembled slightly. I've seen people with everything, Alexander said. Education, power, money. He looked directly into her eyes. But they still choose the wrong path. He held the wallet lightly in his hand. You had nothing, and still chose what was right. Maya's eyes filled with tears again. And your son, Alexander added. His education will be taken care of. She covered her mouth in shock. You don't have to struggle alone anymore. That night felt different. For the first time in a long time, Maya didn't walk home in the rain. She was driven home in a warm car. Quiet. Safe. Still trying to understand what had just happened. When she opened her door, Daniel ran to her immediately. Mummy, he said, smiling. She hugged him tightly. Longer than usual. Stronger than before. Something had changed. Not just outside, but inside her. In the days that followed, everything moved quickly. New job. Better pay. A safer place to live. Food on the table every day. Daniel laughed more. Smiled more. And for once, Maya could breathe. But she never forgot that moment in the rain. The choice she made. Because she knew. That was where everything truly began. Life slowly became stable. Not perfect, but better. Maya worked hard in her new role. Learning. Growing. Proving that she deserved the chance she was given. Some people doubted her at first. They saw her past. Not her character. But over time, she proved them wrong. Not with words, but with actions. Alexander watched from a distance. Not interfering. Just observing. The same way he had the first day. And every time, she made the right choice. Months later, he called her into his office. You haven't changed, he said. Maya smiled softly. I don't want to, she replied. He nodded. Good, he said. Because that's what made you different. Maya walked out of that office with confidence. Not because of money, but because she stayed true to herself. And that was her greatest reward. Now tell me honestly, if you were in her position, would you return the wallet? Or keep the money? Don't lie. Don't forget to subscribers for more powerful stories. Drop your answer in the comments. And tell me where you're watching from.